Hey, this is Buck Dharma of Blue Oyster Cult, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA, prime Angus, and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you taste their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon, and of course the king of all those gigantic cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had, probably be the best you ever have as well. Check them out at UppercutChops.com. That's UppercutChops.com. Or give them a call, find out what's for dinner. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100 for UppercutChops.com. All right, a big welcome in to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates and independents from coast to coast. Big welcome also into everybody watching in select markets on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, Wild, Charter, and independent cable affiliates, plus Hotel TV where applicable. Everybody on all our streaming platforms and Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. Make sure you check that out, folks. Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook, the only Facebook group that I know of that is actually promoted on real terrestrial radio and television. How do you like that? All right, and a quick trivia question here from our friends over at Vacation Buddies. They want to give you a couple of nights right here in Las Vegas or in Branson, Missouri, or in Orlando, Florida. If you can answer this simple trivia question, which NBA superstar player won 6 NBA titles? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777. That's 888-576-5777. Which NBA superstar won 6 NBA championships? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan? 888-576-5777. Our friends over at Vacation Buddies are not affiliated with this radio station and television station. However, they want to give you a couple of nights in Vegas or in Orlando or in Branson, Missouri. Call 888-576-5777 right now if you know the answer. Yes! All right, and back here with our good friend and longtime comedian, and that would be the great Don Horn. And Don, right, and Don, Super Bowl champion. Of course, Don always gets a nice round of applause. Don gets the super applause. All right, let me see if I can get this a little bit closer here so Don can hear everything that's going on, because Don's remote right now. All right, there's the audience, so Don can hear him. Boy, they're giving him the standing ovation. I'm not really sure. Is that really appropriate? Hey, Don, how you doing, man?
Doing doggone good. Pretty good, Sal. And I'm glad to talk to you after such a long period of time. We haven't spoken in such a long time. I've been recovering from some serious health issues the last couple of years, but I'm bouncing back and heading in the right direction.
Well, that's what you do. I mean, listen, when you have played in the National Football League, you have to learn how to bounce back, right or wrong?
That's true. I mean, what Lombardi used to say, and other coaches as well, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up.
That's right. And honestly, folks, if you don't look at life that way, well, I don't know. It just seems like you've got to have some resiliency. You have to have not only that, but you've got to have the will to get your ass back up. And I mean, after getting punched and punched and punched and knocked down. But guess what? You've got to be able to do it. And I know that you have seen that movie, Don. What's it like, first of all, to get hit by really big linebackers from the other team?
Well, it's something that I wouldn't wish some of those hits on a lot of people. A couple of my enemies, I would, of course. But you get hit by a guy like Dick Butkus, Earl Bradovich, and those old guys from the Bears back in the '60s. My gosh, even Alex Karras, with the old Detroit Lions.
Right.
Back when we played. You're right. Those guys would they'd not only hit you, Sal, they would pick you up, pile drive you into the ground, and your weight and their weight on top of you often would lead to a serious injury every now and then. But you're right. It's like bouncing back. It's like there's afternoons and days where you throw too many interceptions, and there's other days you throw a lot of touchdowns. So you just got to bounce back from adversity to achievement.
Well, I don't think. I mean, look. Generally speaking, you think about the public and what the public perception is to the National Football League today. And Don, it clearly, unequivocally, is something different today than back when you were playing back in the day. So for those people that don't know, Don, they don't know that you played for the Green Bay Packers. You won a Super Bowl. You won Super Bowl II. You played for the Denver Broncos. You played for the Cleveland Browns. You played for the San Diego Superchargers as well. The Chargers, right? And the Portland Thunder. What?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's go.
Right.
Let's go in the way back time machine with that one, right?
It goes way back. Yeah, way back. So, I was one of the guys that tail end of my career, I jumped to the World Football League. Hopefully you can fool them a little bit longer. I had some injuries. My shoulder and my arm was kind of going dead, and I tell you, Sal, once if you're a quarterback and those cornerbacks on the defense, they finally figure out you can't throw that square out like you used to. They kind of bait you. They kind of give it to you and bait you and stuff like that. So, there comes a time in your career when you mentally you're sharp, but physically you just can't do it like you did when you were younger.
You know what's interesting, Don, is if you go and look up your passing stats and all that other fun stuff. Look, I'm not a stats guy, but here's one thing I would love to know. I don't see anything for rushing yards, but here's the thing. Wait a second, you'll like this. The rushing yards, what I'm looking for is total run for your life yards, if you know what I mean. I mean, that's, for me, look, that's what I'm after. How many yards have you ran for your life in a backfield because somebody either couldn't protect you or you're like, oh my God, the sky is falling?
Maybe 15 yards, 18 yards, if that, probably. I had a quick release, a pretty good, pretty quick release. In fact, a lot of people back in the 60s, when I came in the league, even Coach Lombardi thought he was impressed at how quick I could get rid of the ball. And a lot of sports writers compared me and Joe Namath as far as the quicker release that we had. But, those are, like you said, Sal, it's a different game. It's a total different game now than it was 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, and when you look at today's game, and I mean, come on, Don, let's be real for a second here. It's okay, it's just you and me. When we look at what a Pro Bowl quarterback was back then versus what a Pro Bowl quarterback looks like today, buddy, you and I probably are seeing the same images in our head. Now, you've got me by a couple of years, but I got to tell you, first of all, playing a game of flag football, I get it, but I don't get it. Yeah. I mean, it's football. For Christ's sakes, hit somebody. It's my opinion. It's okay, man. It's all right.
Well, that's That's true. I mean, i.e., the Pro Bowl today. That to me, that's a farce. That's just the show. I mean, it's okay to be named All Pro, of course. Anybody's All Pro. You want to be the best of the best.
Well, All Pro is one thing, but Pro Bowl is something else.
Oh yeah, Pro Bowl is. I remember back in the day. Excuse me. I grew up in L.A. Go to the Coliseum all the time. Used to have it there every year. I mean, it was a battle. I mean, it was a lot of pride from the AFL and the NFL, whatever. A lot of pride in those guys. They took that game very seriously. So Unitas and Bart and John Bodie and all those great guys. Played back in the day. It wasn't just just go out and push somebody around. Man, they hit each other. They were going after it. So, but here's my perspective on a lot of things. I'm just thinking about this, Sal. I'm going to talk out loud here. The NFL's changed so much in the last 40, 50 years, especially the last 20 years. The equipment, et cetera, rule changes and all that stuff. I don't know if it's probably good in the long run in a lot of ways, but a lot of people are criticizing the referees today more so than ever. I just think they have too many things to look at now. There's too many rules. There's too many rules and penalty rules and stuff they have to look for. And you can look for something on every down of every play and find something. But when you're looking for something, you may not see something else. It's just, to me, let them, like you said, let them play. Knock somebody down, let them play. Man.
Let them play. Tell you what, we're going to be back here in just a few minutes with the great Don Horn. Don't go anywhere. Lots more coming here on the Sports Circus. Radio sports and entertainment show, the Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it out here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today. Don't let your retirement accounts get caught off guard by trade and tariff wars. Learn why a Genesis Gold IRA is the number one choice for thousands of Americans across the nation. 800-709-4423. 800-709-4423. 800-709-4423. That's 800-709-4423.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.com.
I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus. Join me and Hall of Fame world champion and all-star celebrity guest for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms. Also, thesportcircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Thank you, Roy, and welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. This segment brought to you in part by your friends over at the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Check them out at csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. That's the College of Southern Nevada Athletics, csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. All right, big welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates, including our friends over in Atlanta, WDJY 99.1 FM. Thanks for waking up with us. And over in Auburn, Alabama, not too far away, WAUD, home of the Atlanta Braves. Thanks for driving home with us. And, of course, everybody else up and down the Midwest, out to the West Coast, driving up and down Interstate 15 between L.A. and Las Vegas, listening in on Highway Country Radio, 101.5 FM and 107.3 FM. Thanks for driving and listening with us, as well as everybody else up and down the West Coast, up to Seattle, our friends up in Anchorage, down to Honolulu, CBS Sports 1500 KHKA. That's home of the Yankees, 49ers, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Plus everybody else on select markets in Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, WOW, Charter, and independent cable affiliates, Hotel TV, where applicable, as well as Chicago food favorites. Make sure you check that out, folks. A fun group, a food group. Pick your favorite restaurants, your favorite recipes, your favorite foods, whatnot. Make some friends, have some fun. Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook as well. And thanks for everybody tuning in on all of our streaming platforms, Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, iHeart, Stitcher, Deezer, and a whole bunch more. And by the way, in case you're just tuning in the last segment, right at the beginning, we had a vacation giveaway from our friends over at Vacation Buddies. If you didn't hear it, you'll get it right now. You got a chance to pick up a couple of nights over in Branson, Missouri, Las Vegas, right here in Vegas, or in Orlando, Florida. If you know the answer to this simple trivia question, what NBA superstar won 6 NBA titles? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Again, that question, which NBA superstar won 6 NBA titles? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan? Again, 888-576-5777 is the number. Answer the trivia question. Our friends over at Vacation Buddies want to give you a couple of nights in Vegas, Orlando, Florida, or Branson, Missouri. They're not affiliated with this station, but they sure want to help you out and give you a couple of nights in one of those great locations. Again, give them a call, 888-576-5777. Call now. All right, back here with the great Don Horn, and in case you've been living under a rock, last I checked, Don won a Super Bowl. And right, and by the way, he ran for his life from guys like Butkus and so forth, right? Hey, we got to get some beer stuff in there because Green Bay has really had it in for the Bears for many years. Listen, man, it is what it is. But back in your day, you know, we think about how quarterbacks were groomed. I want to talk about this for a minute. I want to talk about mistakes I think that franchises make, I think that general managers and head coaches make, and maybe even quarterbacks coaches. What do you see as the difference from a quarterback's coach today back when versus when you were playing, Don?
Well, you know, when I came into the league there in '67, I backed up Bart Starr, and back then the rule of thumb was you're going to have to sit on the bench for probably 5 years, to go through the learning curve and get your turn or whatever, priority or seniority or whatever. Vince wasn't going to play anybody. He didn't like to play rookies at all, number one. And a quarterback, he wanted you to really wait as long as you can and just learn and over time. And if you're really a good athlete, a good quarterback, a great quarterback potential, you might be able to start with 3 years, on the exception, back when I played. And today, these guys make so much money, Sal, I can see why they want to get the return on their investment, sooner rather than later. They pay these guys an absorbent, in my opinion, way too much money to play a game that they should be playing because they love the game of the little boy in them. And, they're going, God, we're going to pay these guys tens of millions or $100 million or whatever. God, I can't even fathom that kind of money. But, we want to get results right away. We don't want to wait 3, 4, 5 years, that kind of thing. So in that perspective, it's just, it's a business. When I came into the league, it was a multi-million-dollar business. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar business as far as the NFL goes.
Right. I mean, honestly,
show me the money!
that's what it's all about. But what the sad part about it here, Don, you were a first-round draft pick, and you think these other first-round draft picks, second, third, fourth-round draft picks. How about this? What do you think the possibility is? Let's go in the Wayback Time Machine versus today. How in the world does a fifth-round draft pick that maybe ends up playing a few games and throws a bunch of interceptions, how does somebody like that end up in the Pro Bowl?
Yeah. You know what? It's one thing to we talked about it earlier. It's one thing to be named All-Pro, and another thing to be playing in the Pro Bowl. Who wants? Me, I personally, I would want to go to the Pro Bowl today and play touch football or flag football, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of guys don't want to take the risk of being hurt for one reason or another. They're making too much money. As Jimmy Taylor used to say years and years ago, they asked him, this is back 30 years ago, maybe longer than that. They'd say, Jim, what's the difference of the game in the NFL today than it was when you guys played back in the 60s? He said 2 things. Number 1, we didn't run out of bounds like they do today. And number 2, we all had off-season jobs.
Yeah. That in itself, folks, let me tell you. The first thing is you got on the field because you liked playing the game. It's not like you made a bunch of money, but you were a kid playing on the playground, and as an adult, you're actually getting paid to play a game. How cool is that?
Can I tell you something? What Vince Lombardi told us when we had a team meeting when my first year in the league.
What's that?
He got in front of the group and he said, "Gentlemen," and this is when the Super Bowl paid $15,000 if you won it. If you won the Super Bowl, you paid $15,000. He said, "Gentlemen, there's 3 reasons why you're in this room. Number 1, it's the little boy in you. You love this game of football so much, you just want to play it as long as you can the rest of your life. You just love the game. And number 2, it's pride. You not only love the game of football, you want to play it just like you did when you were a boy. You want to be the best. You take pride and want to be the best football player you can be. That's the second reason. And the third reason, and that's a sorry reason, is for the money alone. And if $15,000 isn't enough to motivate you, I don't know what the heck is."
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Don, I have to look at it. I mean, even when I played baseball, I wasn't paid. I paid $1,200 a month to play baseball, and I'm thinking, hey, you know what? That's $1,200 more than I had, and I still get to play the game that I love.
Well, that's like me. When my rookie year, first round draft choice, I got a little bit of a bonus, but my salary was $15,000, and I'm going, whoa!
Right.
That's over $1,000 a month. They're going to pay me. They're going to pay me to play football.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better. This is heaven. This is great. And now, gosh, these guys, they make $15,000 just putting a shoe on.
They make $15,000 a minute.
Yeah. Now, some of them make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 every play.
I can't understand that. I don't want to understand it because the concept of getting out there and making business decisions on a field is 100%, in my opinion, wrong. I don't get it. I understand it financially. I think it's wrong in every possible facet. Don, I don't see any good that can come out of that, frankly. Let's think about this. So back when you played, look, you guys had second jobs. You had jobs out there.
And often those second jobs paid as much or a little bit more than your football contract did.
Right. And look, I've heard the stories from the guys from back when you were playing, and let's face it, if you're pre-93 collective bargaining, I mean, that's when the money was really doled out, 93 forward, right? But if you played before that, I mean, you had to either A, be super efficient on your spending, or B, you had to have a second job. Now you're a member, and I'm going to get into this in the next segment, you're a member of the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. Now, folks, let me read this to you real quick. This is right from gridirongreats.org. When you read the about, it says Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund is a non-stock, non-profit 501c3 organization providing financial grants and pro bono medical assistance to retired players in dire need. The organization focuses on the humanitarian side of football and those related issues, social services to retired players who are in need due to a variety of reasons such as inadequate disability and or pensions. And they provide hands-on assistance to help retired players and their families deal with hardships. Listen, that's right. When we come back, folks, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here with the great Don Horn in just a few moments. Back here in a few.
You'll get your chance, smart guy.
I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportcircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time. That's 800-950-2049.
I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportcircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with two beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please, don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-308-2249. 800-308-2249. 800-308-2249. Call right now before it's too late. That's 800-308-2249.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Hey everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP television. Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for upcoming guests, a prior guest, or recorded shows, which can be found on Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Stitcher, Deezer, plus a whole bunch of others. Also, make sure you check out the partners page at thesportscircus.com. Our favorite partner, and of course it'll be one of yours once you try them out, is Al's Number One Italian Beef, 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy. That's Al's Number One Italian Beef. Check them out, folks. If you can't get over there, 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy at alsbeef.com. That's alsbeef.com. Boy, it's some incredible food. Boy, they put together that Italian beef sandwich 117 years ago. They've been in business since 1938. Check them out at alsbeef.com and tell them the circus sent you. Yes! Yes! Boy, that's one of my favorites. And I don't know, Don, have you ever been to Al's Number One Italian Beef in Little Italy in Chicago?
I have not, but from listening to that spot, I think I will next time I'm in Chi-Town.
Hell yeah. Boy, that's good stuff. By the way, folks, we're back here with the great Don Horn, Super Bowl champion, and it was for the Green Bay Packers. You know, I'm a Bears guy, but I got to tell you, Don's one of my favorite humans, and it's cool. I don't mind. Yeah, he's a former Packer, but he's also a former San Diego Supercharger.
Chargers, yeah.
Love the Chargers. And you went to school down there in San Diego, too.
Yeah, I played for Don Coryell at San Diego State, and John Madden was our defensive coordinator, and we had a young kid. In fact, we roomed together for a few days or a couple of weeks maybe. He was a former player at San Diego State and decided he wanted to coach, and he was a graduate assistant football player, or now a coach, is a young kid named Joe Gibbs.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yep. All three of those guys in the Hall of Fame.
No kidding. I had no idea that Joe was down there. Wow.
Yeah, Joe was down there. In fact, when I went down there, they moved me into a two-bedroom apartment. We had four players living together, and Joe was there temporarily. He was moving out. And we shared a bedroom there for a few days, and then he moved out. And there were, four players living in a two-bedroom apartment. Yeah, way back in when. But I'll tell you that, I never had so much fun in my life as playing football for Don Coryell. And a lot of people say back in the day when, looking back at my career, a lot of people say the worst thing that happened to me, because I was pretty much a pure passer, drop back. I wasn't a scrambler, like we talked about earlier. Was I went from that wide open, Air Coryell type of an offense, throw the ball. I go to Green Bay, the inclement weather, and Vince Lombardi, very, very controlled, run, maybe a play action, run, another play action, that type of thing. But I wouldn't have traded for the world. I was fortunate enough to catch the tail end of that great era of the Packers in the 60s, and backing up Bart Starr, Zeke Witkowski, and Zeke was an old Bear too. I think he played for the Bears.
Yeah.
But, it was just a great experience.
It was a great experience, but then as you went on to San Diego, didn't you end up playing for Coryell anyway?
No, he got there after me. In fact,
really,
I backed up Dan Fouts.
Right.
And we had our coach was Tommy Protho.
And, right.
And Dan was an average quarterback. His mechanic, he was okay. He didn't have the best mechanics in the world and stuff. But he had a lot of moxie and savvy. He was a good leader. And I backed him up. That's when I should have stayed there another year or two and backed him up. Well, that's when I made the move to the World Football League after that. But anyway, Dan and Protho got fired and whatever, and then I, a couple years later, I retired, and then all of a sudden, Don Coryell gets named head coach of the Chargers, and I sent Dan a little note. I said, "Good luck, man." I said, "You're going to be reborn." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You'll find out. Coryell's coming." And to this day, Dan says the only reason he's in the Hall of Fame is because of Don Coryell and his offense. And, he allowed to take advantage of, what his, his skills were. And that was throwing the ball and being a heck of a great leader. And, of course, he gave him some pretty good support, backup, too, and surround, good team players, good defense, good. To me, that one year they went to didn't they go to the championship playoffs in that real cold game?
At Cincinnati, yeah. Wasn't that around, was it 1982 or 80?
Yeah, somewhere 82, 83 or whatever.
Yeah.
80, and that was a bitterly cold game playing on that hard surface, artificial turf.
Right.
In fact, it's funny because the head coach of the Bengals that year was my old teammate, Forrest Gregg.
Oh, right. That's right. He was.
Yeah, he was our right tackle.
He had Kenny Anderson was his quarterback, too.
Yeah. Yeah, Kenny's good. Kenny's a real good quarterback.
Yeah.
Real good.
Yeah, it's a crying shame that he's not in the Hall yet, but hopefully he'll get in soon.
Yeah, this guy's, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah. guys that should be in the Hall, and what's interesting, even think about those guys that are in the Hall or on the border of it. Listen, they still didn't make a bunch of money, and that whole Gridiron Greats thing kind of comes into play. Don, what's your experience with the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund?
Well, my old teammate Jerry Kramer, actually, they started it years and years ago, maybe 20-some years ago, and then he for whatever reasons, he kind of passed the baton to, Mike Ditka. And I got involved with it about 10 or 12 years ago. I found out more about it. And my experience is they've actually helped me, too, to be honest with you. But, the NFL, they're making so much money, Sal. I mean, it's just beyond my comprehension how much money they make. And a lot of reasons, I think the NFL in some ways has more pull or more influence on the country than in a lot of ways than Congress does. But there's so many guys from my era and even after me and even prior to me that are still alive that the NFL has refused or is refusing to help, and a lot of these guys really need the assistance. So this fund, the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund, we raise money to help the dire need players in various situations, and most of them are older, not everyone, but they're older guys or whatever, that the league, for whatever reason, won't help, refuses to help, or whatever. I had a teammate of mine passed away a few years ago. He needed help and has for years. Concussions, CTE, etc. He'd start to go somewhere after work and couldn't find his way home and forgot where he was going. And he applied for assistance from the NFL, the 88 fund from Mackey, that type of thing. And just an example. And the NFL told him, Yeah, they realized he had, cognizant problems and stuff, but we can't determine whether that was caused by too many hits or concussions in the game, or back in your day, you guys played in the 60s. You guys were kind of known for drinking too much alcohol, or some of the guys got into steroids and stuff like that. So we can't really say that your situation is a result of just football alone. So therefore, you're denied.
Well, the steroid. Hold on, Don. The steroid stuff was only to get over the pain of playing in the first place.
And you know what? You know who gave a lot of that pain stuff away? I mean, all those team doctors.
Right, the trainers.
They would give it to the trainers.
Yeah.
And the trainers would give it to the players.
That's right.
They were one step removed from getting their caught. But
yeah.
It's a different game. Different. Watching that game when they'll notice that from upstairs. They got spotters, and they go, get him out, let's check him right now. Let's put him in the tent, let's make sure he's okay to continue playing, rather than waiting until he gets off the field and say, how you feeling? Oh, I'm okay, I can go back in.
Right. Don, I want you to hold that thought, because I want to come back with that. Because, look, the way this stuff unravels, we'll have to pick up on the other side of the segment here. But got to tell you, man, you're 100% right about this. And frankly, when I look at the path that the steroids and the opioids and all that other crap, where it traveled from, it came from the team anyway. I don't care where in the team it came from. The reality is the player wouldn't have it if it didn't come from the team in the first place. So their argument, well, we don't know if it's this, that, or the other. It's complete lunacy. Back here in a few minutes with the great Don Horn in just a few minutes, folks. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come here on The Circus.
And you got your head all the way up it.
My, isn't this an awkward moment?
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi Code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 800-335-7196. 800-335-7196. That's 800-335-7196.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Urlacher. Welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP-TV studio, AAMP television. Folks, make sure to check out thesportscircus.com again for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, or recorded shows, which can be found on many of those streaming platforms. Also, head on over to the store tab at thesportscircus.com. Pick up your favorite items, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, beanie caps, sweatpants, coats, travel mugs, coffee mugs, pillows, mouse pads, you name it. They're all there at thesportscircus.com. A shameless plug for our American-made products with our amazing logo on there. And in fact, if you want to know a little bit more about the logo, info at thesportscircus.com will tell you a little bit more about it. It's kind of a clever design, and you'll learn a little bit more about it and about us. And so check out, again, thesportscircus.com. A shameless plug for the circus. Yes! Of course, it's a shameless plug, Don. By the way, we're here with the great Don Horn, Super Bowl champion, and just a champion of life. Don's one of the good ones. And we were talking a little bit about the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. And honestly, Don, I wouldn't be involved to any capacity in it if it wasn't for you.
Well, thank you, Sal. I'm happy that you are involved, because you've been a good asset in helping the Gridiron Greats, continue to raise money, for so many players that need help and assistance.
Yeah, and I mean, folks, in case you don't know, go to gridirongreats.org, gridirongreats.org, and you could read all about what they do. Look, they help out the guys that basically made the game what it is today. If it wasn't for guys like Don from back in the day, we wouldn't have the game and the mad money and everything else that's involved in it today. And I just wish the guys today would play the game. And look, I don't know. I've never played football. I used to play baseball. But, Don, it just looks like maybe the game is a little bit faster, but it seems like they're playing for business rather than for the love of the game. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's very true. Sal, there's a good percentage of players that still play for the love of the game, but I think the majority of them are, like you say, just it's a business and a way to make millions and millions of dollars. I mean, it's just amazing. Just amazing.
And by the way, the services, folks, in case you don't know, again, the Gridiron Greats organization, the assistance fund itself, Gridiron Great Assistance Fund. Look, it's a good organization. It really helps those older players that really don't have it with maybe medical assistance, transportation for medical evaluations, surgeries, housing assistance, financial assistance for utilities, medications, coordination of services for food, automotive payments, childcare, and the family help too. Isn't that right?
That's true. That's all of the above.
Yeah.
And whatever else a former player might need. I get upset every I think about it too. The league makes so much money that why don't they can just do the right thing? The NFL should do the right thing, and there's not that many of us left still alive, so to speak. that kind of fall in that category. The older guys, anyway. There's always younger ones that have, various hurdles and difficulties they have to overcome. But yeah, the league. We used to always say the old 3 Ds: delay, deny, and die. They want to delay everything before they make a decision, or they deny it and then hope you die. And that's kind of an eternal thing a lot of the players have been saying for decades. And I just wish the NFL would step up and just do the right thing. And so then there wouldn't be a need for the gridiron greats, but there is now.
Yeah, and honestly, I think not only does the league make a lot of money, and now this is pure speculation on my part because I'm that guy. Call me a tinfoil hat guy, call me whatever you want, but buddy, I have seen things happen on the field. I shake my head and say, how in the world did that call get made, or maybe were the referee's eyes closed? How do things happen on the field? I just think that with the addition of all the sports betting, this, that, and the other, I see things that I could never imagine happen. Now, I'm not the only person in the world that sees things. I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm only saying it like I see it. And so I'm wondering if part of the league is making money off of maybe some questionable things. I'm not going to ask your opinion on it, but I'm just wondering, have you seen things on the field that you can't explain in today's game?
I sure have, and that's a good point that you brought up, but then that reflects back to what I said earlier. Is I think there's too many rules or penalty rules that the referees have to look at today that they're obviously going to miss too many. I mean, they have, back in the old day there were certain things, to me there's just too many rules today. There's more. It's a different game. It's a different game today, that's for sure. But I think your point you brought up about the gambling issue, that's something that it's very well, it's out there. It's out there to be looked at.
Right. I mean, I'm not stating anything other than what I see, and right. It's just things that you scratch your head and you ask yourself in a game that was played not too terribly long ago. I'll just give a general. Imagine a quarterback needs to move his team 15 yards downfield to get into field goal range to win a game. And then suddenly, unbeknownst to the world, and damn well, historically, for that particular quarterback's track record, somehow magically throws the ball to no one in particular 35 yards downfield, and the other team takes the ball.
Yeah.
And you ask yourself, how the hell did that happen? Because he's a pro and he doesn't do that. How does that happen? Or how does a guy cough the ball up multiple times in a game when you know damn well he has protected the ball all season? Oh, by the way, then he does it the following week after that. And he has no history of it. Come on, man. Don, am I drinking too much adult beverages? Or
well, you might be, as we used to say, you might be picking the fly poop out of the pepper.
All right.
But it's something to be definitely be cognizant about. I'd say that.
Yeah,
I'd say that.
It's odd to see things, and you see the reason I bring this up is because if the league, in my opinion, of course, I can always say in my opinion, if the league closes their eyes to certain things, then how come the league can't help the guys that made the game what it is today in the first place?
Amen. Again, it's one reason it's a multi-billion-dollar business instead of a $1 million business. It's just different mindset. A lot of different owners, too. The owner's mindset, so many different owners today than there were 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Right.
A few of the same ones are around, the families and stuff, but, there's too many pieces of the puzzle today.
Don, what I wonder, and again, this is me with a tinfoil hat, I almost wonder if there is essentially an internal gag order. It's like, hey, you're going to be told some instructions. You follow the instructions. You don't talk to anybody about the instructions, and we'll pay you mad money just to keep your mouth shut. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. That's how I see it, and it's too bad that I have to see it that way because it's not the game that I grew up loving.
Yeah, well, I don't, that might be a stretch in certain ways, but you never know. Every what's that old cliche? Every man's got his price, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't know either, buddy. But to me, I mean, again, I may be drinking too much of Grandpa's cough syrup or something. I don't know. I'm not. Right. Right. But I'll tell you what, Don, it's an abomination. And the one thing I do like is when I talk to guys like yourself, and we've known each other for quite some time now, and the stories are incredible. I can't seem to obviously get those out of the current guys because the current guys keep their mouths shut, maybe for whatever reason. But listen, I want to give you a shot to talk about your boy Ryan real quick. Take about a minute and talk about Ryan. And what is Ryan doing?
Well, he's got a company called Bighorn Autographs. He specializes in sports memorabilia and does a lot of signings with a lot of NFL players, hockey players, NHL hockey players, Major League Baseball players, and he's done very well. And it all started about, 7 or 8 years ago. He had an idea. One of my daughters had a double mastectomy, and she's fighting some health issues and stuff. So he said, he comes to me, he said, Dad, why don't we put on the internet or Facebook, maybe sell some of your jerseys or helmets or something and autographs and to people, especially he started in Green Bay in Wisconsin.
Right.
And, and we'll take the proceeds and give them to my daughter to help offset her medical bills. So we did that, and it grew and grew and grew, and all of a sudden different organizations around the country saw what he was doing, and they approached Ryan and asked him to help them, and he did, and he learned about the business, and he's still learning. And anyway, 2 or 3 years ago, he says, God, Dad, I want to go out. Dad, I'm going to go out on my own. I think I can do this on my own, and he did, and he is, and he's done very, very well, very well. And so he's, you can get things autographed for various players from all the NFL teams and Major League Baseball, etc. But his website is bighornautographs.com. bighornautographs.com.
All right, nice round of applause for Ryan Horn. Check him out at bighornautographs.com. And hey, listen, Don, always a super pleasure having you on the show. And of course, I will see you soon. And listen, buddy, thanks again. And go Bear, go Bears, right?
We did this year.
All right.
We see at the Gridiron Greats Cigars with the Stars next week in San Francisco.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon.
All right.
So long, everyone.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please, don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-308-2249. 800-308-2249. 800-308-2249. Call right now before it's too late. That's 800-308-2249.